The Aztecs really knew how to do things, from human sacrifice to technology to having aqueducts to bring fresh water into their city and having higher hygiene standards than your boy here does. They were originally in a place called Aztlan, but Huitzilopochtli, the god of war, told them to leave. Huitzilopochtli put his sister in charge to guide them. There was a minor problem though. They didn't like her, so they complained to Huitzilopochtli, and he said to leave her when she goes to sleep. She woke up to find nobody around, and I guess this has never happened to her, or it's happened way too often, because she got really mad. Some time went by and she had a son, Kopel. She told her son about how she was wronged. When her son grew up, he decided to confront Huitzilopochtli and kill him. He was almost successful, except he wasn't. He got his heart ripped out, and Huitzilopochtli instructed them to throw the heart into a lake. This is important for later. They kept wandering around after that, sometimes pausing to erect temples to do sacrifices to Huitzilopochtli. After a while, they came across Culhuacan. Here they decided to erect something other than temples, if you know what I mean. As they were intermingling with the people, Huitzilopochtli, being the god of war he was, didn't want this peaceful stuff and told them to ask the king for his daughter's hand in marriage. They did, and the king was like, sure, why not? He sent her on over, but instead of marriage, they decided to sacrifice her, doing a little stabby to her chest and taking her heart out, which was followed by taking her meat sack off and wearing it as a coat. Later, when the king came over to feast and celebrate the marriage, someone came out dancing while wearing her skin. The Aztecs had made themselves wandering nomads again. This time, somewhere along the way, Huitzilopochtli instructed them to find a place where Kopel's heart is. There, he said, would be a sign of an eagle perched on a cactus eating a serpent. When they found it, the eagle told the Aztecs, this is where you can build your city, Tenochtitlan. To this day, you can look at the Mexican flag and see the depiction of an eagle eating a serpent. Now, at this point, you might be wondering, what is up with this Huitzilopochtli guy? This guy seems to be pretty important. The Aztecs left Aztlan, and during this journey, they would build temples. One time in particular, on Mount Cotepec, they built a temple, and Coatlicue was sweeping it when suddenly a ball of hummingbird feathers fell from the sky. Coatlicue held the ball up to her stomach and became pregnant with Huitzilopochtli. Coatlicue's children were angered by how their mother had become pregnant, and Coyolxauhqui, who was in charge of her 400 brothers, conspired to kill their mom. One of them, Coyolxauhqui, decided to snitch and tell Huitzilopochtli while he was in utero about the plan to kill their mother. Coatlicue obviously overheard and was saddened by this news, at which point Huitzilopochtli said to her that it'll be fine, which calms her heart. So here comes Coyolxauhqui with her 400 brothers. What she wasn't expecting was when she was killing her mom was for Huitzilopochtli to jump out of her womb fully grown and in full armor. Defending his mother, he beheaded Coyolxauhqui and kicked her body down the temple, her body breaking into pieces on its way down. Huitzilopochtli picked up her head and threw it into the sky, which then became the moon. As for all the broskies, he chased them down and killed a lot of them, and they became stars. There's a lot of conflicting versions of this story. One was about how apparently Coyolxauhqui was still alive, and Huitzilopochtli continued to chase her and her brothers, explaining why the moon seems to be chased by the sun, something Huitzilopochtli is also associated with. This is one of the reasons why the Aztecs do so much human sacrifice. Huitzilopochtli gets strength from human blood, so to prevent his sister from killing him and having the earth plunged into an eternal darkness that would end the world, the Aztecs sacrificed humans to strengthen Huitzilopochtli. There was also a point of severe drought and famine, which they thought was punishment by the gods because they felt unappreciated. To solve this, they sacrificed more humans. You might be thinking, how many human sacrifices could they do? The estimates are anywhere from 20 to 80,000 humans, sacrificed in the span of 4 days. So what was their source of humans? The Aztec Empire and the Tlaxcala and other states agreed to come together and fight each other for sacrificial offerings. They would have what's called a flower war, where they go to a pre-selected spot and fight. The purpose wasn't exactly to kill each other, but only to injure them so they stay alive for later use in ritual execution. Even the victims of the Aztecs understood their roles as sacrifices to the gods, since they also practiced the same type of religion. The victims were expected to bless children, greet and cheer passers-by, hear people's petitions to the gods, visit people in their homes, and lead sacred songs and dances. What fun activities to have before a heart extraction. Anyway guys, I'm out of material, so adios amigos.